Hello and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to show you how to remove and replace a TPMS sensor, better known as a tire pressure sensor. This wheel's off a 2011 Ford Fusion SE. Let's get started. First off, you're going to remove the valve stem core. Let the air out of the tire. Then after all the air is let out of the tire, you're gonna wanna break the bead down, and I'll show you a way to do it where you can do it at home and save some money. First, you're gonna wanna take your floor jack and position it under the front of the car, towards the front of the car on the frame. And as you noticed, I used just a short 2x4 because the key is you want to get it as much height as you can when you jack up the car. And then second, you want to use a 2x6. I used a 2-foot 2x6. Just a standard 2x6. 2 feet long. And next, I'll show you how to position it to the bead on the wheel so we can break the bead on the tire. Notice how I jacked the car up as high as I could get it. And then you take your 2x6, position it under the front tire, and then also you want to position it just like this, as close as you can to the rim, the lip of the rim. Keeping in mind that the valve stem is straight across, so it's out of the way so you don't damage the TPS sensor. Not that it matters on this one because the TPMS sensor is bad anyway, but a good rule of thumb is just to do it straight across from where you're trying to break the bead. Just put it on the rim right across from the valve stem. Just a good rule of thumb to remember. As you can see, I let the jack down and all the pressure from the weight of the car is pushing on the bead of the tire and the rim. So you gotta just be patient, and sometimes you gotta work it, jack the car back up and then do a different position on the tire and the rim. It just depends how long. If the tires have been on the rim for a long time, they're probably going to be tough to get off. The other thing you can do, what's worked out for me, it's been real helpful in the past when you try to do this at home, what makes the bead tend to loosen up and come off easier is to take and spray penetrating oil all around the bead in which you're trying to break. And usually that'll work its way in and it'll make it slippery, and that'll make the bead pop quicker as well. Here's some penetrating oil right here. This is a type of, I'm just using the Blaster brand. Any penetrating oil would work. And then just take your little straw that's on the end of it and just go right around and spray it right in the bead, just like this. And that should help to loosen up the bead as you're trying to break it loose. Let that soak in a little bit. As you can see, once that works its way through, then you're just going to have to work it a little bit. Sometimes it comes right off. Sometimes you have to do it a few times, work your way around the rim a little bit until you can pop the bead. After a couple of times just repositioning it, and moving the wheel over to hit a different part of the bead on the tire, bam, it popped. So as you can see, we're good to go. Now we just have to position the wheel to where we can squish the area where the old valve stem is, and then we'll keep that pressed, and then we'll remove the old valve stem, and then we'll put in the new valve stem with the I actually went with the good used TPMS sensor that I got off the internet, off of eBay. And so hopefully don't have to reprogram the sensors because it's used, but we'll see once we're done. So I just wanted to show you again, took a couple of times to see how the bead broke. So now we'll position it to where we can get in the area of the valve stem so we can remove it. And then after you take a razor blade or a vice grip or whatever you have and remove the old valve stem, make sure that's clean. Take a rag, wipe it off so it's clean, free of debris and whatnot. And wipe that off. Make sure the back side's good on the inside of the rim. And then basically you want to take your sensor and then just screw the sensor to the valve stem. Just held on by a Torx head screw. And then some you can put in already installed. You can install it just the way it is. And some you have to install the valve stem first and then bolt on the sensor after you get the valve stem on. We're going to try this one. I think this one will work to install it beforehand and then just come up and put this into the rim, as I can show you. And then we'll try it that way. And as you can see, I used a regular tool you can buy. You screw on the valve stem, and then you just screw it on the valve stem here. And then you can just take like a back side of a pliers or a cutter, the rubber end. You just screw it on to here. And then once you get it screwed on, you just pry up slowly on it until the new valve stem seats on the rim. As you can see how that's seated on there? Perfect. Then you look at the back side, you can see where the sensor is. See how the valve stem is seated on the rim? And there's your sensor right there. So that should be it. And then it's just a matter of basically putting the lip of the tire back onto the rim and then just airing it up to the proper inflation. And then before you do that, make sure the tire is all wiped off good, because we did use penetrating oil. And then while I was holding it, I used another piece of a 2x4, just a small piece, jammed it in there. And then I kept the weight of the car with the 2x6 on the tire as well, so I had plenty of space to work. So you can get your hands in there to work. And now again, this one worked out good to do it to where I was able to mount the sensor on the valve stem first, and then I positioned it on the rim, and then I was able to pull it through with my valve stem installer. So simple as that. Save money, do it yourself. Good peace of mind knowing it's done right if you do it yourself. And that's it. Now we just got to clean the wheel up and then take and air it up to the proper pressure. So the bead seats, the tire bead seats on the rim again, and then probably put 44 psi maximum pressure in the tire, and then mount it on the car, take it for a drive, see if there's any codes or anything. Hopefully, being it was a use sensor, we won't have to do any programming, but that's something we'll have to wait and see once we try it and see how it goes. So that's it. Nothing too difficult about doing that. Kind of gave you some step-by-step instructions how to do it and what you need to do it. Pretty simple, straightforward procedure. So if you like this video and found it helpful, please give us a like and please subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching.